Alright. It's been a while since I did a full episode of the show. So, however, we are gonna, of course, got my, hand sanitizer. Check. Journal. Check, even though it's old. Now we are ready for, of course, to start the show. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get to this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find my background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find the advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. So, if you want to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to the episode of Wednesday Awakens. This is the first time ever since the pandemic of the Wednesday Awakens. You know? Because I already wrapped it up with... Well, we already have a Geek City episode, the pandemic episode, where we talk about, of course, Star Wars. Like we talked about Rise of Skywalker, and of course, I talk about my experience with the Clone Wars final season, and of course, we talk about squadrons, and then we transition to sports and the real world issues, including the pandemic, and of course the tough topics we don't talk about is Black Lives Matter, but no. But I don't want to touch that subject in this episode, in this show. Any of the subjects. Politics, sports. Well, okay, sports, yes. That we're going to be talking about. Regarding to one of the ESPN analysts. Although, we are, of course, going to be wonderful. Now, well, it's going to be wonderful, and although, we're going to first off talk about the High Republic. And then, one of the sequel trilogy cast members is joining a Marvel Cinematic Universe. And of course, we're going to recap Mando Mondays with the merch. With the countdown to The Mandalorian, which I'll be reviewing next week on the Wednesday Awakens. Here we go. Well, we already have some Jedi, of course, of the High Republic. But however, I do want to talk about, of course, is the Padawans of the High Republic. Well, even though half of them are really excited and half of them are skeptical, and there were a few of them, like, of course, the members of Geeks and Gamers, not satisfied with High Republic. But hey, everyone has opinions, and I can respect that. Don't worry, I'm not defending it, Star Wars or anything, but I still think 200 years is still not long enough. That's in my opinion. That I still think 200 years is not long enough. It's not a rant or anything, but you know. But aside from that, we're gonna meet the Padawans of this. Yes, and I'm getting a book, and I'll see if there's anything woke about it. But you know, I'll save that for SJW Watch when it returns. So. Hold on. So we got Bel Setafar, who is apprenticed to the legendary Loden Greystorm, and he hopes he survived the experience. That he and his master were stationed at the Jedi outpost on the ore world of El Farona, a deep world in the Outer Rim, where they work to keep the peace and light, according to Light of the Jedi author Charles Soule. Yep, the Charles Soule who did the Darth Vader comic and Star Wars. Yeah. And here's the continuing statement. Buryaga is one of the few Wookiees to travel from the lush world of Kashyyyk to study in the ornate halls of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Well, looks like we got a second Wookiee in the Jedi Order. Well, first one in the Clone Wars, to be exact. In the canon timeline, however, while he is skilled with his two-hand lightsaber, it is Buryaga's natural, effortless ability to sense the emotion of others that sets him apart from other members of the Order. The Wookiee studies under Jedi Master Nibasek, who lured Sherry Wook in order to properly educate her students in the way of the Force. Buryaga is gifted, but in any school, there's always a golden child. And in the High Republic Adventures, the all-age comic of IDW Publishing, readers meet Lua Telesola, who is also about the Jedi Order. According to the writer of this comic, Daniel Jose Older, she loves it, can wait to be knighted, and wants to be the best Jedi that ever was. Besides being amazing, at the top of her class, she's loyal and a compassionate, and looks out for her two best friends, Farsala and Court. Especially, they're causing mischief. Finally, one Padawan will get a harsh dose of reality. And in Claudius Gray young adult novel, Into the Darkness, features Reef Silas, a Jedi apprentice, who will see what the galaxy is like. Reese had a somewhat privileged apprenticeship because his master, Jorah Mali, is the member of Jedi Council. That means he spent a lot of time in the Coruscant and evade diplomatic meetings, and what kind of sort is going to be a huge transition for him, according to Claudia Gray. Reese learning what he's made of. Yeah, so we got Buryaga, who is a Wookiee, in the clothing, who will be appearing on Light of the Jedi, a novel by Charles Soule. And we got Reef Silas and Lula Tasela from, of course, from the comics of the High Republic Adventures. By Daniel Jose Older. And we got Bill Setafar, who appears got a dragon. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna get the Light of the Jedi novel, and of course I'm going to I'll be able to get them. No, the book when it comes out. It was originally supposed to come out on August, but unfortunately the pandemic, which it happened with coronavirus, it just is acting like that. And now we're gonna make a transition from the upcoming High Republic to turning back to the Skywalker saga, and one of the stars of the sequel trilogy is, of course, had starred in the Marvel movie, make a transition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, we are, of course, making a transition, of course, with the Skywalker saga, of course. We all know of Poe Dameron's finest acting in The Force Awakens, and then threw it all away with The Last Jedi, and of course become the Screamer on Rise of Skywalker, but hey, nothing could be worse. But like I say, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. It's just some people in charge of writing that did his dirty to his characters, except for Coen Brothers. When he was seen with fellow Star Wars actor Kylo Ren himself, Adam Driver, when singing Please Mr. Kennedy with Justin Timberlake, who appeared on DreamWorks films such as Shrek the Third and Trolls. But that's besides the case. So, and yeah, when I say the writers did dirty to his characters, especially since he played the villain, the title villain, Apocalypse on X-Men Apocalypse, who kind of looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie. But no, I haven't seen Apocalypse. Yes, I will watch it, and I will do a review of it to see if it really is that bad. And Dark Phoenix, yes, Dark Phoenix is on my list too, and Logan, which I desperately want to review. But the MCU will put Oscar Isaac in a Disney Plus series, Moon Knight, where he's going to play the titular hero. Now, I'm going to be honest about this. That's what I call a necessary transition. Like, we got a Marvel hero transition to an MCU hero, Chris Evans. And a Marvel hero transition to an MCU villain, which is courtesy of Michael B. Jordan, which both played the Human Torch And of course, both Human Torches played the roles. Well, you know, Chris Evans with Captain America, and of course, Killmonger with Jordan. And now we got to transition from a villain of the Marvel, of the X-Men films, transition to an MCU superhero, Moon Knight. Now, of course, I'm going to be doing a review of said TV Marvel Disney Plus series, however, although we are, of course, going to be talking about, I am going to make some references, like I did with Chapter 8 Redemption review, where I say, last time I saw Pedro Pascal's face, his eyes were gouged out by the mountain. But although, after the, when Season 3 of The Mandalorian comes, and after I see Wonder Woman 84, I want to say the last time we saw Pedro Pascal, we, of course, saw what happened in the film. Okay. Well, like I say, this is why I'm going to call this a full episode, because we got new merch from Monday. And it's, of course, none other than my fellow clone, Mr. 46 Pokemon Amateur. Yes, I'm one of Mega Mr. 46's clones ever since he tragically sacrificed himself to save my fellow clone. So, yeah, I'm the new Mega Mr. 46, however. Of course, that's, you know, share the same gene, and of course, you know, well, you know, unlike Jango Fett, however, we don't have inhibitor chips in us. So, we're not going to be, you know, betraying each other, so, you know, so that won't happen. And of course, we got them, you know. So, we're in the main topic, the main event. This is where, of course, we're going to be revealing Mando Monday's merch. Part of the countdown to Mandalorian. And, of course, we're going to be talking about is Season 2 next week on the Wednesday Awakens. Okay. This is it, everyone. I'm back. I'm better than ever. And of course, we start off Mando Monday with Din Djarin himself, Pedro Pascal. Which, of course, he's got the baby Yoda and a Matronic. He was fond of the little guy. And, of course, he's got a Funko Pop of Din Djarin and baby Yoda with Funko bobblehead. And that's, of course, interesting, because I already got a Funko Pop of the golden Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia. And of course I got Summer from Rick and Morty, Batman, Aquaman, well, Batman from Batman the Animated Series, and the Creeper from Creepshow. Well, back to what I'm saying, of course, and we also have Pedro Pascal holding a skateboard of the Mandalorian, which is, of course, with the deck, with the Mandalorian deck, created by the skateboard company Element. You know, the ones that have was famous Element skateboarders like Bam Margera and Mike Valley. Yes, I played Tony Hawk. I played Tony Hawk Underground. No. So, yeah. And then we got, of course, Andy and Anthony of the Star Wars show. No, presenting, of course, they talk about Mandalorian Season 2. They got the Gamorrean Funko bobblehead. And, of course, from Disney Parks, the Mandalorian mug with the insert skull to keep it warm. Or, you know, we'll take it off to take a drink. But then we got a poster book from Disney Lucasfilm Press of Mandalorian Season 2 poster book. It's kind of spoilerish. You know. And then we got the from Penguin Random House Little Golden Book of the Mandalorian. Title, This Is the Way. Where, don't worry kids, Quill's alright. He's alright. Nothing bad happened. Don't worry. And the two of the spirit jerseys from Disney Parks are Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian. And also from Funko is Mando flying with the blaster. And there's two vintage collection from Hasbro. With Andy and Anthony is, of course, the Armorer from Season 1, or Book 1, and Moff Gideon, played by Giancarlo Esposito. And speaking of, yes, we do have, of course, Giancarlo Esposito, who is Moff Gideon, joining in, and of course, and he put on the Mandalorian shirt of his character, Moff Gideon, because he wanted to do it, because, you know, he feels like, oh, I'll get to that in a bit, which is, of course, a merch from Fifth Son. And then, of course, he was talking about lightsabers, but he wielded, of course, and it's a roleplay toy of the dark saber. And it taught, of course, put your right hand on first, then your left, so you can flick it without bending your wrist. That's what he taught us. But speaking of, here comes the retro. This is where Giancarlo Esposito feels like a kid again. With two of the items from Hasbro Retro Collection 3.75 of Moff Gideon, the figure, and of course Monopoly the Mandalorian. Monopoly. And yes, he said he did play Monopoly as a kid. That's why I say he feels like a kid again. And of course, we got pieces of Baby Yoda, Din Djarin, Cara Dune, Quill, IG-11, the Stormtrooper, the Death Trooper, and, yes, Moff Gideon himself. And then, of course, we got a finished collection of Din Djarin. Right there. And then we got the other, like, sub-dish kitchen items. And yes, Baby Yoda's everywhere, just like with Pikachu with Pokemon. And then, of course, we're going to get to the video game with my fellow clone, Mr. 4649 Amateur, in a bit. And, of course, start off with Baby Yoda, appetizer plate from Corel Brands. Then we got Bryag's Baby Yoda set, also from Corel, and also from Corel, Pot Duo 60 Seconds Low Bounty with bilingual language. And then I'll get to him in a bit, and of course we got a Baby Yoda waffle makers from Uncanny Brands. And then we got Bryag's Eds with Star Wars, Baby Yoda, dish. Negative transition, of course. To Astra, which we'll be talking in a bit. I'm back, and of course, we're going to continue on with, of course, the Mandalorian. Mando Mondays. Okay, we got a sneak peek from HasLabs for the design of the Razor Crest, which is the largest vintage vehicle. 30 inches long, with full cockpit and seats to 3 figures. Features a main rear bump, side entrance, weapons locker, carbon freezing chamber, highly detailed cargo hold, a new Mandalorian figure with exclusive soft good capes. And we got 2 of the 3 unlocks. So we got 3 unlocks, and of course, 2 are secured. The exclusive escape pod, and the exclusive Baby Yoda with Pram, and of course, the third one is of course the 13K backers, exclusive 4 Carbonite blocks, including that the one who was saved by the Mando, who is also in his bounty. Although we do have some Legos like Baby Yoda. Well, now Masters. Of course, the guest was Peter Donner of. It was a Lego Master Builder. First made a Baby Yoda sculpture. Gonna be appearing at Disney Springs in 2021. And up next, for the Black Series, well, we got something from Mattel. Baby Yoda Real Move Plush. Back to speaking of Baby Yoda, we got Bryag's Ads. Finish it out with, of course, both from Uncanny. Baby Yoda toaster and cup coffee maker with a mug. And we also have ESPN's very own Clinton Yates. And he collected both from 80s, the high covers of the child, with the baby Yoda on the high cover, and the sneakers of the Darksaber, which features the footing of Moff Gideon wielding the Darksaber. And that was pretty much it, but then we got baby Yoda. Now, everywhere. Baby Yoda, baby Yoda. We got from the Black Series. Speeder bikes with baby Yoda. And a Scout Trooper. And we also got Black Series of baby Yoda and then Jerry. Like I'm in an asylum. And we got Anthony Carboni after Andy's one-on-one with Giancarlo Esposito. This one is Carl Weathers, who were killed off at both Stallone and Rocky films. Sorry, Stallone and Schwarzenegger films, Rocky IV and Predator. But he did the Predator handshake for, put it on his toast, put it on his fridge. And of course, we got, Grief Karga Funko bobblehead. And then, next we got the short sleeve shirt from Fifth Son. And if Carl Weathers don't see you wearing his shirt, then you're going to be in big trouble. And we got 3 retro collections. IG-11. Of course, which is of course, from Hasbro. And then you got, of course, Quill, played by Nick Nolte, in the retro collection. And up next is Grief Karga. And we also have a Mandalorian Polaroid camera and film. You want in a classic where you can take a picture. Where you can take a picture, and of course, or do what Max does on Life is Strange, take a selfie with it. And last, but not least, we have 2 more. That involves Baby Yoda, Funko Pop, and of course, everybody would love to get their hands on it, and it'll be sold out quickly. And a Baby Yoda animatronic with a carrier, also from Hasbro. Well, the last one was not with Carl Weathers. That one was the last one before ending Mando Mondays. But will it be back for a new merch? We're gonna have to find out, and I will keep you updated. And of course, that was it for me. Now I'm going to make a transition to my fellow clone, who's for this 46-foot about amateur, with, of course, with video games. Thanks, Regular vs. 46. I'm Mr. 46 Pro Mod Amateur. I love video games, and I just whole thing I want to talk about is video games. And the presenter is This Week's in Star Wars, Kristen Baver. And we got a lot of things with The Mandalorian coming up. You got the Mando stuff coming up on Squadrons. Now, I really like this game, but But there's some Prime magazines, which I'm not going to get into detail. No, sir. With, of course, the Death Trooper, or the Bounty Hollow, IG-11, Razor Crest, Baby Yoda. And there's some Mandalorian characters coming up to Galaxy of Heroes. Din Djarin, Cara Dune, Greek Karga, IG-11, who's reprogrammed, and Quill. Yep, and the Sith 4 will be adding Baby Yoda, and the Journey to Batuu will be 50% off with it for those who have an Origin account. And there's a Mandalorian table set coming to Star Wars Pinball. And of course, the Legends game, Star Wars The Old Republic. Yes, I am aware that it's still around. Still popular. I mean, why can't they bring it to canon, you know? Like they did with the Clone Wars. Why can't they make the Old Republic canon? Like, you know, the one with like they did with the Clone Wars TV series and film. And of course, you got the new Mandalorian gear and weapons. And there's a Moff Gideon event on the Disney Emoji app game, where the event to add the Death Trooper, Cara Dune, and Moff Gideon himself for that event, if you beat him. So yeah, that's pretty much all for gaming. And we'll see you guys next time. And of course, we're going to turn back to my fellow clone, who is the new Megaverse 46. And until then, for me, it's game over. Alright guys, that's gonna do about it for this Wednesday Awakens. I'm back, and we are, of course, and we're gonna be back to normal soon as I get all the topics ready for Marvel Tuesday, the Wednesday Awakens, and DC Thursday. But there is the new show I do. If I get money and I have CBS All Access, I would love to do some Star Trek reviews. And make it Thirst Trek, you know? Is that talking about anime on Mondays, and DC sometimes on Mondays, and of course, we are going to be talking about all the things. Alright guys, and next week, the Mandalorian review is going to be back for, of course, for that, and of course, I won't have a break till after episode 8. I will see you guys next time, and as always, may the Force be with you.